Just tell us. That was my first musical at age 4. June, we're connected.
Oh, yeah, I gotta get a noisemaker.
No noisemakers?
Yeah, they're in the front, but I didn't know I had.
I told him he's first. I said you got the big start. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard. Welcome, and almost Shabbat Shalom. Almost Shabbat Shalom. Yes, we didn't mean to suggest by the almost that should be ambivalent about whether you return the greeting. It's simply that it's only almost Shabbat because we have to make it Shabbat. This evening we are doing a Reader's Digest approach to our Shabbat because we want to make room for our Purim observance a little later on in the evening. We welcome everyone distance davening with us, following along from our congregational live stream source from our website. We hope you made an opportunity to download ahead of time a copy of our satellite Siddur to keep you in orbit. Be aware, though, that as I say, we're doing a digested form of things this evening, so we'll be jumping around, skipping things. Don't get lost. You're still in orbit, and we're happy to have you with us. Everyone in-house, let us open our prayer books to page 124. And satellite Siddur, you're right out of the box up front. Let us begin by what we like to think of as our shared aspiration that is our congregational mission statement. Together, may the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for right, all who are lonely for friendship. May welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Let's turn in our prayer books to page 121, and Ms. Linda, if you'd honor us by coming forth to bench licht.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Let's continue reading together. Who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts, may our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Satellite Siddur, you're at the top of page 2, in-house, page 142. A blessing and welcome to the Shabbat angels of blessing and peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalit, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Kadosh Baruch Hu.
On page 146, Satellite Siddur, you're at the top of page 3. Let us rise together for the call to worship.
Responsively. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach. Ve'avtecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Be'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. V'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'b'lechtecha b'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ויתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 161 in our prayer books. Those at home, I think we might not have this on tap for you, but it is our evening prayer. Ashkivenu Eloheinu l'shalom, v'haminenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlemecha. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. Together, for with you are truth and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Hapolet Sukkot. Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol. Baruch atah Adonai Hapolet Sukkot. Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל ירושלים שלום, ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל ירושלים Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Hapolet Sukkot. Shalom, Shalom Aleinu.
Shalom Aleinu.
Ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Had to get the page.
V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'darotam b'rit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
You can tell it's Purim because Ad lo yada. Rabbis messed up 2 musical cues for the cantor, which is puts me in the amateur grade. Before we proceed to Tefillah, page 164 in the prayer books, satellite Siduri at the bottom of page 5, this is the first Friday of the month. Show me your excited faces. So, besides being Purim, it is our celebration Shabbat. We have this month anniversaries. Yesterday was Tony and Mary Pinto. Tomorrow is Alan and Yvette Benaroche. We got birthdays. Laura Vesicki and Alan Zuckerman, twins on the first of the month. They didn't know they were twins. We just established, you heard it here. Paul Zwillenberg coming up later this month. Susan Duroff, Betsy Berner, Ray Bergman, Lynn Nathanson. So, for all of them alike, let us join our cantor in offering an appropriate benediction in honor of the occasion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 164, let us rise together and say together before we step apart, in the words of the psalmist, Adonai svatai tiftach, ufi agid tilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may proclaim your praise. Let's turn forward in our prayer books to page 556 for the special insert, the Hoda'ah, for both Hanukkah and Purim. We have the text here for Hanukkah, but we're doing the song for Purim, page 556. In the days of Mordechai and Esther in the imperial capital of Shushan, when the wicked Haman rose up against us to obliterate us young and old, you, in your great compassion, foiled his evil plan and nullified his criminal intent, for which we give enduring thanks.
על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו ואימותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו ואימותינו.
You okay if we spontaneously threw in a little extra Purim extra? Utsu et savet
tufan. Utsu et savet tufan.
Clap, somebody.
Utsu et savet tufan. Dabru davar v'lo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu et savet tufan. Dabru davar v'lo yakum ki Immanuel.
Reach up for it.
Utsu et savet tufan. Dabru davar v'lo yakum. Utsu et savet tufan. Dabru davar v'lo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu et savet tufan. Dabru davar v'lo yakum ki Immanuel.
Now that's the good news. The not so good news is on this first Friday of the month, celebration Shabbat, where we celebrate so much wonderful in terms of milestones in our congregants' lives. And on this doubly joyous occasion, when we make it our observance of Purim, Mishanichnas Adar Marbin Besimcha, the Talmud says, once this month of Adar arrives, joys increase. At this doubly joyous time, there are members of our congregation, their friends and families who are unwell, are preparing for, recovering from surgery, for whom our prayers have been asked. For Leah Jacobson, Joan and Bert Thompson, Bert Posner, Jane Barron, Larry Satcher, Beth Pavlau, George Karpman, Belle Finfer, Rebbitzin Carol Gross, doing better, she can move her arm. Melissa Kellou and Aaron Alter, happily in our midst and gearing up for medical adventures later this month. Thinking of good thoughts, my sweet. And we name as well Julie Fitzgerald, Marianne Mulligan, Brandon Ben Sharon, Teddy Emerson, Pete Carochi, Sandy Footlick, Jim McDonald, Alba McDonald, Bernie and Barbara Friedrich, Nan Needleman, Rick Wilkie, Mayor Ben Chava Fega, Avala Kava Hughes, Tom Boucher, Scott Snyder, Martha Eldridge Stark, John Rickey, Mel Friedberg, Paula Pagliarulo, Chanoch Yehuda Ben Chava Fega, and all those whose names we want to call out to build our prayer list. And for those at home, don't be bashful about calling out a name, however virtually we receive it on this end, as with our cantor, we sing together this prayer for healing.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. sing and let us say Amen. Mishabeloch imotenu mikol abracha lotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
All right, well, here's a problem. Charlie, I had a reason for messing up to musical cues. I had a glass of wine, or at least half of one, with my dinner with Mrs. Rabbi before coming to shul. You have yet to prove yourself the designated drinker, so come forward, young man. If you'd introduce the kiddush for the candor to lead, page 123, Satellite Siddur, you're at the bottom of page 8.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, I can do that.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvot tzav v'ratzah banu v'shatal kodesh. I did it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm doing it again.
The festival
Baruch
finish was
atah
with
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvot tzav v'ratzah banu v'shabbat kodsho b'yachava uvratzon hinchilt lanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yachava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. Amen.
Chaim Tovim, young fella. Thank you, sir.
And thank you for saving me from a fire.
We will replace this plastic with asbestos, so we don't have to worry about it next time. And who wants a piece of challah? Raise your hand. Charlie's slicing and dicing.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'te'avon. Hava nagila, hava nagila, hava nagila v'nismecha. Hava nagila, hava nagila, hava nagila v'nismecha. Hava niranana, hava niranana, hava niranana v'nismecha. Hava niranana, hava niranana, hava niranana v'nismecha. Urachim, urachim b'lev tamea, urachim b'lev tamea, urachim b'lev tamea, urachim, urachim, urachim b'lev tamea.
Well, here's our thing. Go ahead, ask me what's our thing. Glad you asked. She's over there. It's the better half. It's Shabbos. And in our once-a-week congregation, it's our Purim. Our dilemma is that Purim is a jubilant, exotic occasion for us to say, well, as we say on so many other holidays, they tried to kill us, we're still here, let's eat. it strikes a little close to home, no pun intended, that this is the holiday that remembers when the Jewish people were targeted for extermination throughout the entire Persian Empire. At a time when, thus far this week, 6 U.S. service people have been killed fighting a war against Persia. Regardless of where you stand in terms of whether the commander-in-chief committed our forces prematurely, with or without the permission of Congress, I don't want to have that conversation. There's been too much conversation in the Jewish community all week. For the moment, I'm just going to focus on the 6 military personnel who've already paid with their lives for taking out a terrorist chieftain and one of the greatest global sponsors of terrorism for the last generation. Whether anybody better fills that vacuum, I can't worry about. The fact that Haman and Khamenei sound very much alike is something we've been making jokes about for the last 25 years. And now we don't have to anymore. Last year at Purim, and for that matter the previous year, we were following up on the October 7th attack. And in Israel, they didn't call Hamantashen Oznei Haman, Haman's ears. They called them Oznei Sinwar, the head of Hamas. We Jews are very good at surviving, not because we're devious, but because we're committed to the idea that a world without Jews makes no sense. That our covenant with God gives us a drive to survive and endure against all odds. And most of all, we Jews are very good at surviving by mocking our enemies, not destroying them. I want everyone to visualize, if you will, Charlie Chaplin mocking Adolf Hitler with his little handlebar, toothbrush mustache, playing kick with a beach ball globe of the world that was his playground. Hitler was infuriated, and that makes us glad. The reason we twirl the noisemakers is not because we like a party, although we do. Hava, Nagila, Hava. The reason we twirl the noisemakers is not in response to hearing the name of the bad guy, but to blot it out before it can be recited. We mock our enemies. That's why we dress up. We got a little bit of costuming here tonight, and it makes me happy. We got noisemakers to blot. And we got Oznei, whoever you want their ears to be, later on. Lynn and our wonderful committee made sure we got some Hamantashen in town for our Purim Oneg Shabbat. But we recall, and will not name them, because although I have all 6 names, one is only tentative. And from our religious viewpoint, besides the fact none of them is Jewish, they're all U.S. citizens who died in the line of duty protecting our country and its interests and our state of Israel. We don't know if they've been buried yet, and from our traditional viewpoint, we honor them after the burial, and things are still up in the air. But we are going to remember those in our community who lived a Jewish life, kept the faith, kept the covenant, and passed the torch along to the next generation. Our sister Edith Schwartz over on my side of the state, and our brother Mike Suffian, a life member here, laid to rest this week, taken from our midst, and whose families observe the sweetness of this Shabbat as a hiatus in the bitter week of Shiva. Herb Wallach, Gary Lotto, and Malv Alberts, whose family has observed yet the month of Shloshim. And these, the anniversaries of whose deaths were observed during the week now ending. Edith Raskin Abrams, Teresa Backman, Esther Blutfield, Esther Bragman, Isadel Cooperman, my uncle Arnold Gross, Harold Hollander, Stephen Horowitz, Susan Wald Jacobs, Ruth Joel, Celia Shapiro Kahn, Elaine Stein Molowitz, Rose Noodleman, Verona Perlman, Rose Rosenfield, Gilbert Rudman, Martin Seltzer, Eli Sherman, and Deborah Wilk. Anyone have Avilut in addition? Yard site? Zichronam Livracha, may their memory, and those of all the Jews of the generations who have dared to mock our enemies and died laughing at them sometimes, be honored as we rise together on this Purim Shabbat. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. Chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala v'yizman kari v'imru. Page 598. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach l'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitamam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal l'shmei de kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'elma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. May the maker of peace on high make peace for us, for all Israel, and for those who mourn. And let us say, thank you. Let's be seated once more. And I want to share with you an image, if you will, why it's cool being Jewish. There is a city bomb shelter in the middle of Tel Aviv, downtown. Chazan, why don't you head on out? We'll catch up to you. Yeah. Where, with the rockets falling, launched from Tehran this week, a wedding party that was in process had to go downstairs. And the rabbi and the bride and the groom and their families and everyone else who'd been walking by that was there went ahead and brought the chuppah with them. And with the rockets exploding overhead, did the Sheva Brachas and cheered. And in Jerusalem, it was a kick. They had a post-Purim party because everybody in the neighborhood brought their dogs with them, and the dogs were going around getting to pet everybody and say hello. Wouldn't you love if you were a dog being stuck underground with 400 strangers that you can go smell and lick? It doesn't get better than that. I'm going to invite our Purim Spiel cast to come forward and take your place in the designated chair upstairs. Mr. President, if you'd make a couple of greetings and administrative announcements, and the rest of the cast is going to go to our respective dressing rooms and shift gears.
Shabbat Shalom. Greetings from our Board of Directors and a few announcements. I welcome visitors worshiping with us tonight and invite you to stay on hand for the Oneg Shabbat following services. Tonight's Oneg was coordinated by Lynn Wilk, Heather Greenfield, Barbara Holtz, Adele Oppenheim, Mary Pinto, Phyllis Rosenblum, and Beth Weinberg. And if I missed anyone else, I'm sorry, but this was prepared a week ago before Melissa's vacation. Our lovely Oneg was sponsored by Bert and Shirley Posner in memory of Rose Noodleman, Shirley's mother, and by Lynn Wilk in memory of Deborah Wilk. Our flowers are donated by Jonathan and Heather Greenfield in honor of the chefs who are making the matzo ball soups for the Passover Seder. Current details of everything going on in congregational life can be found on our website, in our monthly newsletter, The Messenger, and in the semi-weekly email notifications we send out to membership. Tonight, I remind everyone, Daylight Savings Time begins Sunday morning, late Saturday night, and spring ahead at bedtime tomorrow. So don't forget to adjust your clocks an hour ahead. The Seder flyer is up and around the building and online. Please RSVP for our annual Congregational Passover Seder, which will be Wednesday, April 1st at 6:30. The next three concerts will be Larry Johnson's Motown concert tomorrow night at 7:30, Bee Gees Now on Saturday, March 14th at 7:30, and ABBA on Sunday, March 29th at 7:30. You can purchase tickets for all the shows at jcmymusic.com. The last film of the season is Guns N' Moses, which will be Sunday, March 15th at 2 p.m. You can buy tickets at jcmymusic.com or at the door the day of the show. Next month's Women's Book Club will meet Tuesday, March 17th at 11. The book of the month is Daughters of Shandong by Eve J. Chung. You can find flyers around the building. Monday night bingo doors open at 5. The game starts at 6:30. The chess club meets every Tuesday from 9:30 to 12. Please contact Irv Pavlov. Thursday Mahjong is from 11 to 3. Please bring your lunch. If you have any questions, contact Shirley Posner. The office is selling Memorial Yard candles. Do not forget to bring in food for those in the community who are less fortunate when you come on Fridays, or leave a donation in the tzedakah box. And now, as we move to the conclusion of tonight's service, I invite to the beam our final honorees, Tony, Ann, and Keith. Let us please reopen our prayer books to page 586 and rise together for Elena.
Well, here's the good news. We've honored wonderful people. The other news is, we're not doing a later tonight. We close the Kaddish, we're done. There's our Purim joke deal. My apologies, Mr. President. We should have deleted that from your announcements, but you read it beautifully. We celebrate our Purim. Our Purim we celebrate tonight. This is a wonderful praise was down into all. Our great beneficent words of wisdom to be used when hardship must be faced. And life apprises us with hardships of the words of Jesus. So tonight we celebrate our Purim. Celebrate without a fuss. To Purim! Excuse me, that was our big opening number. We deserve a bigger hand than that. Well, we have a religious duty to perform, so everyone look very solemn. I messed up 2 musical cues and forgot to cancel the invitation for Aleinu, and you read it so beautifully, Mr. President. But all of us have an obligation right now. So, as usual, once a month, we say, you want the mitzvah points for doing Hallel, you gotta make a bracha. So on your page, everyone have the page, wave it around, show me your page. Everyone got the page on the way in. How come the Rebbitzin is the only one that got the page on the way in? And Leo. And the First Lady. Seriously, nobody got the page on the way in. The people watching at home should be aware this is being recorded and we're going to edit it down so that all the good stuff happens and we look more coherent for posterity. Being distributed now as we speak by our lovely flight attendants. And remember, you're not going to know when to make noise later unless you know when the name, capital T, capital M, is going to be pronounced. You're ready for another good Purim joke, right? I was wondering, where did I put my glasses?
I need my voice.
These are my reading at arm's length glasses, and I see the congregation looks really fuzzy. I guess I left my glasses in the back room. All right, everyone have a page. Wave your page around. No, these are they. I'm wearing them. They're on your nose, right? That's the answer. All right, everybody, drum roll. Look solemn, look dignified. Together, we praise you, Adonai, our God and universal Sovereign, whose mitzvot fill our lives with higher meaning, who has inspired us to read this holiday scroll. We praise you, Adonai, our God and universal Sovereign, who long ago performed wonders for our people at this time of year. We praise you, Adonai, our God and universal ruler, who has given us life and sustained us and brought us to this very special time. Can't just check in to see what time it is. It's time to make the focus. Baruch atah. Microphone in your right hand. Mikra Megillah. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani sim lavotenu bayamim hahem hazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Teheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh. Vahi b'mei Achashverosh. Practice saying that name. Achashverosh. Everyone. Achashverosh. Hu Achashverosh HaMelech Mehod uvad Kush Sheva Vesri Mudina V'yamim hahem Tushevet HaMelech Achashverosh Al Kisei Mamluto Asher B'Shushan Havira Bishnat Shalosh Lemalko Asa Mishte Lekol Tzarav Avadav Chen Paras Umidaya Farfasim V'Sarei Medinot Lefanav V'Haroto Et Osher Kavod Malchuto V'Kekar Tiferet Kedugato Yamim Rabim Shmonim V'Atyah. Here we have this very spoiled emperor. I guess it's good to be king. Being emperor is even better. Showing off for his subjects with this huge exposition, concluding with this very long drinking party, at the conclusion of which he invites his empress to show off how beautiful she is, but his empress refuses to be, how should we say, shown. So we have auditions for a successor, window of opportunity for a nice Jewish girl to make good, but she's going to have to be brave. So she offers prayer.
May the Lord protect and defend her. May He always shield her from shame. May Esther come to be in Israel a shining name. May she be like Ruth and like Deborah. May she be deserving of praise. Strengthen her, O Lord, and keep her from the Persian ways. May God bless her and grant her long life. May God make her a queen of great might. May the Lord protect and defend her. May the Lord preserve her from pain. Favor her, O Lord, with humility and peace. Oh, hear our humble prayer.
ותילקח אסתר אל המלך אחשוורוש אל בית מלכותו בחודש העשירי ובחודש טבת בשנת שבט למלכותו ויהב המלך את אסתר מכל הנשים ותיזכן בחסד לפניו מכל נהר בתולות וישם כתר מלכות בראשה והמלכי התחת ושתי ויעש המלך משתה גדול וכל שריו ועבדיו את משתה אסתר והנחה למדינות עשה וייתן משאת כיד המלך. So, Esther is chosen. Obviously, her prayer worked. You want to win the lottery tomorrow night, whatever it's up to, be sure to pray tonight. the finest woman in 128 provinces from Ethiopia to India, indeed, is good to be king.
Oh, no.
You missed the crowd in the next dressing room.
You can't be. All right. Imagine this. If I were a Ahasuerus, all day long, that bitty bitty bop. If I were Ahasuerus now, I wouldn't have to work. If I were a bitty bitty bop, if I were Ahasuerus now, I'd have a big tall palace with rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. So regal all would gaze, they'd look in such awe. There could be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere, just for show. The most important men in town would come to call on me. They would ask me to advise them, for none would dare to define me. If you please, your highness, pardon me, your highness, posing problems that would cross a magi's eyes. Ya-dee-dum-la, dee-dum-la, dee-dum-la-dum. And it wouldn't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. For when you're king, they think you really know. If all day long, if I were Ahasuerus now, I wouldn't have to work. Lord, who made the lion and the cow, will you decree that to me all peeps must bow? Would it spoil some vast eternal vow if I were Ahasuerus now?
Charlie.
Your Excellency, Emperor, don't call on me to build a bridge. So, everyone lived happily ever after, that'd be in the story, except we only getting to chapter 3. על אחד הדברים האלה גידל המלך אחשוורוש את Nobody's following along in the text, you would see that one coming. ויצא וישם את כיסאו מעל השרים אשר איתו וכל עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך קוראים ומשתחווים לכך ציווה לו המלך ומרדכי לא יקרא ולא ישתחווה. ויאמר עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך למרדכי מדוע אתה עובר את מצוות המלך ויהי ואומרם אליו יום יום ולא שמע עליהם ויגידו להם לראות ויעמדו דברי מרדכי כי יגיד להם אשר הוא יהודי וירא כי מרדכי קורא ומשתחווה לו וימלא ויבז בעיניו לשלוח ידיו למרדכי לבדו כי יגיד לו אשר הוא מרדכי ויבקש להשמיד את כל היהודים אשר בכל מלכות אחשוורוש Mordechai. It was plot thickens. The prime minister, an evil, bad, nasty fellow whose name shall not be named. He who shall not be named has it in for the Jews. So they put out a decree, and here's the thing. Under Persian law, Nobody can reverse an imperial decree. But perhaps, hello Esther Libby, maybe the Jews have an ally in the palace if she dares to intervene for her people. And if the emperor is wise enough to listen.
I don't remember such grave danger.
When we're so in need,
When did she grow to such great beauty?
will she gain equal strength as well?
So much depends on one great Jewess.
Only time will tell. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flows the tide. One day we're walking in the open, next day we may all meet to hide.
Sunrise, sunset,
Sunrise, sunset, swiftly flows the tide. One day we're walking in the open, next day we all may need to hide.
what words of wisdom can she give him?
Will he decide to stop the threat?
Now they must learn from one another.
Stronger, stronger yet. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flows the tide. Can Esther's strength pass to her husband, and to great wisdom to his guide? Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flows the tide. Can Esther's strength pass to her husband, and to great wisdom be his guide?
So, my annual bad joke, as a life member of Hadassah, I'm allowed. The queen, whose name, remember, she's passing as Esther, but that's her Persian name. Her real name is Hadassah, Myrtle. Not to malign anyone named Myrtle, I think you'll all agree Hadassah is prettier. She invites the king into a little dinner party. She says, and bring the prime minister with you. So they show up, they're having a wonderful time, and the emperor is just so thrilled to have a little night off. Then he says, what do you want, though? Anything you want. Half the empire, it's yours. She said, all I'm asking for is my life. מי הוא זה ואיזה הוא אשר מלאו ליבו לעשות כן ותאמר אסתר איש צר ואויב הרע הזה ליבד המלך והמלכה. At the banquet she reveals the treacherous plot, and so the prime minister is removed from his office, and the emperor says, I have to do all that hard work myself now. You take an incompetent person with no qualifications, bump him from the job, so you put in another unqualified, incompetent person to replace them, right? Now, in this case, plugged in the queen's uncle Mordecai, my namesake, Mordecai Grossman. That's how he got off the boat. And the Jews throughout all of Persia were given license to stand for our lives and defend ourselves under attack. So while we make this a key holiday with masks and noisemakers and parties and fun, it's deadly earnest. We were the Minutemen of the Persian Empire, empowered to come and stand with deadly weapons and fight for our lives. This is a big plug for the film coming up. guns and Moses. And so we're still here today to tell the story as part of our tradition. Company, gather around and share the mic. Day and night must scramble for his people, feed a wife and children, say his daily prayers. Right as Master Ross and the final word. It is
Mordecai, tradition. Mordecai, tradition. Who must have his way in all his undertakings, caring not for others, filling them with fear. Who clamors not just for power above all others, while the king is totally unaware. It's Amen, Amen. Tradition. It's Amen, it's Amen. Tradition. I drink, I cavort, I choose my brides, I pass control to others. I know my newest bride is special. She sees she's pretty. I say, Veras. Tradition. Veras. Tradition. It's Esther. It's Esther. Tradition. It's Esther. It's Esther. Tradition.
Anyone besides cast come in costume? Well, costume staff, employees, staff and employee of JCMI, not eligible. Come on up, so we can see you. Come on up. And costume people, stand up front. Come on up, fellas, do it.
Oh, this is so.
Oh my gosh.
The Esther Bunny.
That's not even a point. That's the whole game.
Front and center, we're nice and visible. Over on the end, we have the Greek fisherman hippie. The Greek hand. In the middle, we have Vashti/Esther, your choice. Somebody regal. What do you think? Nice robe. And here on the end, the Esther bunny. And tropical fisherman, poor Persian farmer.
Farmer from Azteca.
Farmer from Azteca. So let's have a. Let's hear it here. Applause. 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 Sound of it. So we have for you this forum noisemaker with a light up button. Big hand for a customer there. Thank you. And who brought outrageous noisemakers? Not off the rack. Not off the rack. Eh? Nobody brought a noisemaker?
Yeah, they have them here.
Well, you knew they had them here, but there's no prize for using it off the rack. Every year on this island where everybody has a boat, somebody brings a portable boat horn. So in that case, the least outrageous noise was our cantorial soloist, so Harry gets you.
That's the thing, Harry.
Push the button to see if anything happens.
You gave me this one.
Do it. To everyone who came in costume and without noisemakers, big hand for everyone. To our audience, Carolyn Wilk for our festive treat. To our talent, Keith and Tony Ann, Charlie, and Jonathan and Heather. And our clever cantorial soloist, Harry, for putting together a thematic. Yes. By the way, you look good in that ensemble. And next time one of my grandnephews gets married up in Lakewood, you come with me. Ensemble, front and center. Everyone's got the closing song at the bottom of your sheet. This is a classic. This was a British pop song in the 19th century. Some GI brought back from Europe and adopted it. And I'm sure it was somebody from Brookline. Ask me what? Not Brooklyn, Brookline. Ask me what? Because traditionally the third verse is that when speaking of the play, of Haman's plot, he said, "What a dreadful chutzpah. If guns were but invented now, this Haman I would shoot, sir." The only place I can think of that chutzpah rhymes with shoot, sir, would be Boston.
Good man, and Haman was his name, sir. All the Jews were not to blame, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and not some Hamantash. Esther was the lovely queen, King Ahasuerus. When Haman said he'd kill us all, oh my, how they did scare us. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be.
Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be.
And not some Hamantash.
What a good name, sir. Esther is a clever queen, and people she will save, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and not some Amish township. Esther speaking to the king, Haman's plot they mentioned. Oh, he said, oh no, we won't. I'll spoil his bad intention.
Oh, today we'll merry, merry be.
Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and have some good meat ashes. Honest rule and unkind ways, his punishment to cure him. But don't forget, we owe him thanks. This Johnny feast up for him. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be.
Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And not some
Shabbat shalom and Hag Sameach.
Special applause, Cantor writes all this. It's amazing.
That's it, we're done. Go home. Or eat cookies, whichever comes first.
That was good, Heather. I know, I saw.
Okay, this is the wrap. Panther.
Well done. That was